In the middle of the night, the girl was hot and thirsty. So she opened the refrigerator and found a bottle of sugar syrup. But she didn't find anything in the house staring at her. She was about to go upstairs to sleep after drinking the syrup. Suddenly, she heard the sound of scratching downstairs. So she came down the stairs and looked down. She found a giant tiger lurking in the house. All the sweat in her back was blown up. The whole person was instantly awake. Where did the tiger come from? She pretended to be calm and returned to the upstairs. Close the door gently and turn off the light. Then quickly open the window and prepare to escape. But she found that all the windows were sealed with wood. With her strength, she couldn't push it away. The girl just remembered that her stepfather told her yesterday that there would be a typhoon recently. So she was going to furnish the house. But she didn't think of the furniture that her stepfather said. She called a whole construction team and sealed all the windows with wood. What surprised her more was the wild pandan giant tiger. It was also bought by her stepfather at a high price. She was also hungry for 3 days, and at night, when she was sleeping, she opened the cage and put the tiger in the house. What deep hatred will put the tiger in the house? The girl could only call for help, but the phone was left in the laundry room. She quietly opened the door and confirmed that the tiger was not nearby. She quickly went through the corridor and came to her brother's room. She opened the window of her brother's room and anxiously called her brother to get up. Unexpectedly, the window here was also sealed with wood, and her brother didn't respond to her. She opened the quilt and found that her brother was not in the room. This is bad. She was brave enough to come downstairs by herself. When she found the tiger was not there, she rushed into the laundry room. She picked up the phone and started to call the police. But due to the typhoon, there were too many calls for help. The other party actually took the lead. She immediately called her stepfather, and her stepfather's phone was left in the car and no one answered, because at this time, he was singing in the bar. The girl was getting more and more panicked. The ceiling made a crackling sound. The tiger was running upstairs. When Wu Jiqi found his brother in advance, he opened the door and called out his brother's name. Suddenly, he shouted, and the tiger was right there. He rushed to the door. As soon as he opened the door, he found that the door was also sealed with wood. He kicked with his body and kicked with his feet. The wood was still there, and the tiger would be attracted to him at any time. Now this house has become a big feast for them. He must find a way to escape. He went back to the laundry room again, climbed on the washing machine. After opening the window, he pushed it out hard. The wooden board was loosened. He seemed to see hope. Then he copied the telegraph pole next to it and smashed the wooden board. He didn't hit it twice. His stunned voice attracted the tiger to come over. The tiger was about to break in. He could only push the trash can and step on it. He stepped into the pipe that transported clothes. In the chaos, he jumped several times in a row. Finally, he jumped up at the moment when the tiger knocked on the door. Then he immediately put his 4 limbs on the pipe. After the huge tiger rushed in directly, he went back and forth under him to look for his trace. In the wide pipe, the girl held the pipe with her 4 limbs. Soon, her hands and feet were sore and sweaty, but she didn't dare to let go, because under her, a giant tiger that had been hungry for 3 days was going back and forth to look for his trace. Suddenly, the phone on the ground rang. It was the police who responded. When the tiger heard the ringing, he smashed the phone with his claws. The girl was sweating all over. This made the pipe smoother. Soon, she couldn't hold it anymore. She slipped and almost slipped down. This is a drop of sweat. It also slipped along the pipe. She fell to the ground. The tiger showed up sharply. He licked the sweat greedily. Then he looked up and found the girl hiding in the pipe. The girl held the pipe tightly and didn't dare to get out. But the tiger just took a look and left calmly. Unexpectedly, the girl just took a breath. The tiger came up. A huge lion immediately caught him. At a critical moment, the girl exploded a huge force. She used her hands and feet to go up a little bit. She was also getting farther and farther away from the tiger. She quickly dug out of the room upstairs. She escaped from death. She was exhausted and collapsed on the ground. Before she could breathe, she suddenly found a person next to her. It turned out to be her brother. Her sister was so worried about her. But her brother had no expression on his face. "Where the fuck have you been?" It turned out that her brother had autism due to the death of his mother. Her mood was very unstable and difficult to serve. The girl found her brother and was ready to take him to her room. If it's not an accident, it's going to be an accident. She just opened the door and turned around. But she found that her brother was gone. She chased after him in a hurry. She took her brother back in a hurry. At this time, the tiger downstairs had already found them. The girl took her brother to the room. She immediately turned on the computer and prepared to go online for help. But the computer's network was unexpectedly disconnected. Suddenly, the tiger came to the door. She was about to break in. Her sister, Lin Meng, hugged her brother and went down to the bed. She sprinkled the perfume on the floor. Then Simin hugged her struggling brother. She covered his mouth and told him not to scream. The tiger broke in. She hid and looked for them everywhere. The strong smell of perfume disturbed the tiger's sense of smell. The tiger jumped to the bed in a blink of an eye. A huge giant fish pressed against the bed. It was going to stick to the girl's face. But in the next second, the tiger was gone. The girl hid under the bed in fear. She looked around. The tiger just left like that. She turned around and said that the tiger had suddenly come in. The brother crazily stretched his claws and squatted down to the bed. The whole bed was lifted by the tiger. The girl and her brother pressed their feet against the wall. Fortunately, the two of them were separated from the tiger in the mattress. The tiger was also crazy about the mattress. Her sister was in a panic. She finally grabbed the door handle and opened the door. She took her brother out of the room. They hurried downstairs. Her sister opened the refrigerator, took out the frozen meat, and covered the meat with sleeping pills. She was ready to feed the tiger. Her sister was busy escaping. Her brother suddenly fell ill again. She slapped the table. She didn't care and just wanted to eat. Her sister could only steal blood from the net and give her biscuits to eat. After comforting her brother, she threw the meatball into every corner of the room. The hungry tiger ran over smelling the meat. Her sister and her brother ran to the other side of the building. The tiger was eating the meatball, but it was not affected by the sleeping pills. Her sister came upstairs and stepped on the stool. She was ready to escape from the attic. Unexpectedly, the anti-typhoon measures had been done in the house. The entrance to the attic was also sealed tightly. The tiger immediately chased up. Her sister and her brother sneaked into the room and broke in. The tiger followed and searched everywhere. The two of them trembled all over and dared not go out. In the end, the tiger still walked to one side. One person, one tiger, with a thin door, facing each other. Her sister could even see the hungry tiger. The blood was flowing in her head. They had nowhere to escape. They could only turn around and smash the wall behind them. The wall was made of wood. While the tiger was feeding the door, her sister had already smashed a hole in the wall. She rushed to send her brother out first. When she dug it out herself, she was caught by the tiger's claws. The tiger's huge body was stuck in the hole. Facing the crazy crying tiger, her brother was extremely calm. Her sister picked up the stick and smashed it into the bone. Then she took her brother downstairs again. They hid in her brother's room. Her sister pushed the desk and blocked the door. She tore open a t-shirt and bandaged the wound. The two of them were finally able to breathe for a moment. But as soon as her sister looked up, she seemed to have found something. There was a note on the floor that attracted her attention. It was a high-profile, life-threatening insurance policy. Take a closer look. The insured person is her and her brother. The beneficiary is their brother-in-law. At this moment, her sister finally understood everything. Why was the house sealed tightly? And why did a tiger appear? It turned out that her brother-in-law wanted to use the power of the tiger to kill the two of them. So he cheated the huge insurance fee. At this moment, she was sad and helpless. She looked up and found half a box of bullets on the bookshelf. Sure enough, there was no way out. She collected the bullets and turned the box upside down. Finally, she found her brother-in-law's left-hand gun in the drawer. She immediately stuffed the bullets into the gun and decided to let go. But as soon as she pushed the door open and looked out, the tiger appeared. And at this moment, regardless of her sister's warning, I don't know where it went. She turned on the hunting mode and chased him all the way. The girl ran and shot, but was still chased by the tiger all the way to the living room. And at this moment, her brother, who had autism, was watching TV. The girl was worried. Fortunately, the tiger was confused by himself in the mirror on the wall. She closed the door in a hurry and wanted to take her brother away. Her brother's backhand was a slap, which made her sister hurry and again attracted the tiger's attention. The tiger broke through the door and rushed over. Then he jumped on the stove. The girl was in a hurry to turn on the gas. The tiger was burned to the claws and jumped down. The girl rushed into the laundry room and blocked the door with a shelf. But the hungry tiger rushed into the door. He was about to break in. The girl used electric shock to smash the wooden board on the window. This time, she finally broke through the window. The storm outside the window hit her face. The tiger broke through the door. It's not like her. The girl successfully climbed out of the window. She rushed into the car in the storm and immediately started the car. Now, as soon as you step on the throttle, you can leave this scary place. But this is what she thought in her heart. It was her brother who had autism before. At that time, her brother and her mother depended on each other. And now her brother is still in the house. He will be eaten by the tiger at any time. Her sister saw a cage-like house. So she was full of tears. She still couldn't bear it. So she opened the car door and went back the same way. She broke through the window again. She only had a bullet left in her left hand. She looked for her brother's figure in the house. Finally, she found him in the broken closet. She took her brother to the bathroom. She made a torch with a slipper handle and a towel. She was going to take her brother out of the window. Unexpectedly, her brother and sister just came downstairs. The tiger suddenly jumped down from the stairs. Her sister immediately turned the torch and was about to confront the tiger. But with a scream, her sister pulled the trigger. But it only hurt the tiger's brain. This angered the tiger even more. But the fierce flame burned the tiger's feet. The two were forced to retreat to the kitchen. There was no way to retreat again. After that, Chi-Fu just bought a freezer to store tiger food. Her sister opened the freezer and let her brother go in first. Then she threw out the torch. She also jumped into the freezer. The tiger jumped out. She had to keep screaming outside. That's it. The two sisters spent the night in the freezer. Fortunately, the new freezer did not run out of power. The next day, the two sisters pushed the freezer open and found no trace of the tiger. But they heard the sound of the wood board being torn down. It turned out that Chi-Fu was back. He was sneaking around with a shotgun and appeared at the door. It looked like he was here to clean up for the two sisters. Although there was a mess in the house, the two sisters appeared in front of them. Chi-Fu glanced at them and asked them if they were hurt. Then he quietly closed the door. The girl felt Chi-Fu's murderous intent and opened the door and said, "We won't tell anyone. Can you let us go?" Chi-Fu no longer covered his eyes. He said, "Your mother begged me the same way." The girl finally understood the cause of her mother's death. It turned out that Chi-Fu killed her mother and poisoned their property. Now he is going to use the lives of the two sisters to make an accident and deceive the evil to pay for it. But she didn't have time to say a word. Even when the tiger was crying, Chi-Fu was bought by himself and used by the tiger for 3 days as a business. The tiger was deep in the stomach. Now the girl has left the house with her brother. It's quiet outside. The autistic brother also took the initiative to hold the sister's hand. The tiger is terrible, but more terrifying is the human heart. In this world, there is never a lack of people without a bottom line. They can become animals for the sake of the interests in front of their eyes. Thank you for watching. See you next time.